Welcome, friends. Your boy Old Bearby here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a franchise that, beginning in the 1980s, mutated into massive proportions, with its comics, toys, cartoons, movies, video games, and much more. But today, friends, we're going to be reviewing the comic issues that started it all. The first appearance, or appearances, of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as collected in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Ultimate Black and White Collection, Volume 1. How did it all begin? Was Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman's magic there from the beginning? Yes and yes.
That first question wasn't a yes or no question. And shouldn't you wait to answer your questions over the course of the review? To leave everybody in suspense?
It's a new age tactic, Tommy Bear. A Beyond 2020 tactic called Let 'em Know Everything Up Front. With that in mind, let's backflip into our review.
Wait.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Ultimate Black and White Collection Volume 1, collects issues 1 through 7, as well as a mini-issue about Casey Jones. The issues are written and illustrated by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, with lettering on the later issues by Steve Levine. Now, the first thing you may notice is that, except for some of the covers, it's all in black and white. So if you go in looking for color, you might be disappointed.
Well, it does say black and white in the title. Also, I read a lot of manga, so it's no problem for me.
As a quick plot overview, without giving away too much, the first issue lays the groundwork for the other issues to come by introducing the Turtles and their martial arts skills, their ninja master Splinter and his origins, and their own origins. The origin story of the mutated rat Splinter and the feuding between his human owner and master and the Shredder family take precedence in issue number 1, as that feud drives the plot of this first issue. Basically, Splinter's old owner and master, when Splinter was just a normal rat living in Japan, gets into this feud because the woman his master loves is attacked by a fellow ninja. When his master dispatches that ninja colleague of his, that ninja's younger brother wants to get revenge. Years later, in America, the younger brother of Splinter's master's enemy emerges as Shredder. Famously, Shredder only appears in the first issue, and is thoroughly defeated by the end, implying to the reader that he was only meant to appear in this first issue. On the other hand, Laird and Eastman's annotations in this collected edition do suggest that they were leaving open the possibility of Shredder's return. And as they also write in their annotations, they didn't know whether this first issue would be the only issue. But all of the first print copies of issue number 1 quickly sold out in 1984, and the Turtles would soon need other stories and villains. Shredder was not yet a recurring villain. In addition to Master Splinter's origin story, we also get in this first issue the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' origin, and how both they and he were mutated by the mysterious ooze. The whole TCRI ooze deal and where it came from is dealt with in later issues in this collection.
Can I just say something real quick about Master Splinter before he got changed by the ooze?
Why, of course, brother.
He was already acting very strange for a rat, even before he was mutating. From watching his human master Hamato Yoshi from his cage, he could already do martial arts. Later on, after his master is murdered and he's living off scraps of garbage in New York City, he has the intelligence to gather up the turtles in an old coffee can. This was all before he got changed by the ooze. No rats I know can do those things.
Well, maybe there was something in that New York City garbage he was eating. Besides, Tommy Bear, we're talking bears, and we can play video games and review comic books and everything. But we haven't been mutated by any ooze. Explain that. Anywho, as for the plot of the later issues, in issue number 2, the TMNT face off against the Mousers, mechanical rat catchers whose creator has nefarious plans for using them against the city. Issue 3 continues that Mouser Rat's Catcher storyline as the Turtles begin searching for their missing Master Splinter. There's a side issue that introduces a hockey-masked, baseball bat and golf club wielding Casey Jones and has Raphael butt heads with him. And issues 4 through 7 join the missing Master Splinter to a larger plot involving the secret of the TMCI ooze, aliens, off-world adventures, and a robot with a human mind named Honeycutt. All of this circles back to the origins of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rather nicely, despite all of the little mini-plots.
So was it good?
To be honest, I thought the feud and vengeance plot of the first issue was a little run-of-the-mill, but I'm not sure how much of that was due to elements of that being rehashed time and again across the TMNT franchise as well as others. Back in 1984, such a plot to a comic book might still have been relatively fresh. But the story really began to take off in issues 2 through 7, as the world Eastman and Laird were crafting became more complex. A definite high point for me was when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were transported to another planet many light years away, and found themselves in the middle of a conflict between the Triceratons and the human-like Federation, both competing for the technology that could get the Turtles back home. But I thought the plot for all of these first issues was great overall and pretty well connected. There was an overarching plot line that was pretty ambitious that Eastman and Laird pulled off very well, I thought, and were able to bring full circle. Before I get into the concept, I just want to say a huge plus for me were the action scenes. The fight choreography is planned and illustrated so well, which is fitting for a comic about ninjas and martial arts. And in addition to the fight against Shredder, another standout brawl in this collection is between Casey Jones and Raphael, which was basically a series of brawls. There are also some larger scale battles that were really well done, such as that between the Federation and the Triceratons, after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are transported to another world many light years away. As for TMNT's concept, it is unfathomably good. It might just be the greatest and most baffling concept ever. Eastman and Laird pair notoriously quick and stealthy martial artists, the ninjas, with some of the slowest and most cumbersome animals, turtles.
Hey, that's not very nice to turtles, Bearby.
Well, they have other good qualities, like, carrying their homes on their backs. I wish I could carry my home on my back. Anyway, as if that wasn't enough, you got all kinds of other funky creatures and space travel and weird tech going on, so it's all good. The concept is still so very interesting today, and I guess will continue to be very interesting as our own bodies are replaced with machinery and/or are mutated.
Could you imagine if we were mutated by the TCRI ooze, Bearby?
I shiver to think of it, Tommy Bear. Now, the artwork was really awesome, though I think it might not be for everyone. In some panels, it might come off as a little minimalist, especially when compared with the greater detail other panels have. And some might point to this as an example of inconsistency in the artwork. But I say even with those simpler panels, there's always an aesthetic that's truly one of a kind and has lent itself so well to action figures, animation, and nostalgia. There's just something about it. The distinctive way the faces are drawn or how the backgrounds are illustrated, for example, that is unique and recognizable and makes me feel like I'm inside of the TMNT universe.
It's an immersive art style.
Yep. I think the artwork is immersive and in a tier of its own. Now, before I get into my own final assessment, I'd like to bring in the valued opinion of a good friend of mine, Taz the Yorkie. But how can I do that? He's worlds away, over on his superb YouTube channel, and I'm over here on my slice of YouTube. What to do? Should I use a transmat machine capable of transmitting matter across enormous distances?
I don't think we have the budget for that, Bearby. Why don't you just call him on Skype?
Can we do that? Is such a thing possible?
The technology is there. You don't have to be Donatello or Honeycutt the robot or anything.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Bearby. How's it going?
Hey Taz, so my brother and I were just talking about talking animals, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to be precise, and I thought, who better to join us talking bears on this review than the talking dog extraordinaire himself, Taz the Yorkie.
What are we reviewing? A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lunchbox? Relax. I didn't forget that you'd be calling me today about this comic book review, so you can drop the act that it isn't all pre-planned.
So, what do you think, Taz?
This comic book stinks. By that, I mean it's good. It's authentic. It smells just like the sewers the Ninja Turtles crawled out of. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are expert martial artists because they were raised and trained by Yorkie. You think that's a rat? Look again. When their master Splinter the Yorkie goes missing, and they leave the sewers for their adventure, it's all Star Wars meets Indiana Jones with a side helping of mutagen. The alien race that Krang is a member of is present in this, and some of them were stranded on Earth and doing odd jobs in New York. What kind of jobs did they have to do to pay for that super tall building with their super fancy headquarters, where they built that teleportation device? I know it wasn't just sweeping floors. And where is our boy Krang? And what is the deal with those Death Star things that the Triceratop-looking aliens built anyway? Darth Sidious called, and he wants those missing plans from the Death Star back. I have many questions that weren't answered, and sometimes the plot is too convenient, like how the Turtles were beamed back up to Earth just in time to save their shells and New York City. But the artwork is so good that I'm sure it will transcend time and space, and so will the larger story. For those reasons, I'm giving the first appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 out of 5 Yorkie Ninja Masters.
Thank you, Taz. I think I'll give these first issues of TMNT 9 out of 10 Ninja Bear training sessions myself.
That's weird.
Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hey Taz, should we end by singing the first part of that theme song from the cartoon?
Let's do it.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a nutshell, turtle power.
I'd like to thank my friend Taz the Yorkie for appearing in this review. Thank you, Taz. And I'd highly recommend checking out his channel and subscribing. He does meme and movie reaction videos, comedy spoofs, and more. And I find myself over on Taz the Yorkie's channel often, rewatching videos. They're so funny! I've been a huge fan of that channel for a while, so it was an honor to be in some videos with him recently. Speaking of which, I appeared in a video on his channel too. It's a video about bear safety tips, and it was a whole lot of fun. I'm very proud to have been a part of it.
Instead, you want to make yourself look larger and more imposing. So stand up on 2 legs, let them know you're not scared, tell them a yo mama so fat joke. Like, yo mama so fat, walking out of hibernation looking like she's all ready to start hibernating. Trust me, that's a savage burn if you're a bear. Okay, so now that I've given you bear survival tips, I'm going to test them out at great personal risk. I procured a bear. I'm a professional, so I can't stress this enough. Do not try this at home. This is an untrained bear that has not been sedated in any way.
So go check out Taz the Yorkie's channel and subscribe. We'll be seeing you in the future.
In the future, 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 in the future, 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 future.